Why they didn't spend money on marketing Transformers 1. Honestly, I don't know what's going on with Hasbro, Paramount, or like anything going on like with their management or marketing teams at this point. What is going on there? I don't understand. Like, how come you did not market this yet? You like market Rise of the Beasts. What? I've been thinking about it. I can't put it down to, is it like, I don't even know if it's marketing at this point that killed TF1, or is basically like left it to die, whatever you want to call it. Is it like, is it the fact that it's animated and it's a kids movie? Is it the fact that the kid, like it being a kids movie, was portrayed so heavily in the trailers? Like, was it the trailers' fault? Like, I don't know, like, because let's be real, like, how many people watched the trailers? Not that many. Most people didn't even know a TF film was coming out this year. Like, what? But I don't understand, like, is it just because it's animated and people think kids and they don't go to watch it? Like, is that a caveat to like Bayverse being so popular? People just want to see a Bayverse film. They don't want to watch like an animated, like, bro, I don't understand. Even then, it's like, why didn't they market this properly? The movie, you can say kids film all you want. They could have, like, they marketed it like that for like, why? It's not a kids film. There's like spoiler warning. There's like straight up like torture and like executions in it. When did that become like a kids film? Like, the film is so much darker in its undertones. I mean, there's literal like classism and racism in it. Like, what? Like, the entire caste system is there from like non-transforming bots and stuff like that. Yeah, it's not like heavily like fucking, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like you know, a full grown-up film where they're like, you know, whipping them or anything, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like, these themes are not like, haha, light-hearted kids film. Like, about the only light-hearted thing in it is like the dialogue coming out of B. That's about it, right? Everything else is so much darker in tone, and like, you got to think about this. Don't just like take it from the movie. I know like you can try and spin the yarn or whatever just for this. This is meant to be in a trilogy. What on earth do you think is going to come from the Great War and the Great Exodus if that's the two movies to follow it? You know, the most brutal war, you know, the war of Cybertron, how brutal that was. What, you think that's going to get like, maybe at this point, if it is going to get toned down to like an absolute like kids fest movie, if that's how they want to do it, but it's like, considering how they've done TF1, I don't think so. Maybe it's not going to be insanely dark, but even then, like, if you've watched TF1, it's not exactly light-hearted. You know what I mean? I just don't get it. Why, like, bro, like, maybe it's just me. It's like this animated style, honestly, like, I don't know if I'm just like too deep at this point. Like, I know I do like I run this like channel and stuff, but it's like, am I too deep in like the fandom? Like, I feel like everyone in the fandom I speak to really loves the movie, loves like the lore integration, loves like there's no humans, it's all on Cybertron. Like, it's a part of like the core crux lore of like the starting story of D16 Orion and stuff like that. But it's like outside of the fandom, I'm just hit with this massive contrast of people I speak to who are just like, they're not like, they know Transformers from maybe like Bayverse and stuff like that, or the Prime cartoon, but it's like most normal people don't seem to give like a flying shit about the movie if they even know it exists. They just assume it's a kids movie, or like it's not that deep, and it's like, bro, I'm so confused. Like, I don't know if I'm like too deep at this point. Like, I know I run the channel, and I know like all of you guys like major TF fans. I know like on one hand I like know the TF fan base like really like core crux deep, because obviously I'm in it. At this point, like, I'm in it as a content creator, so like I'm surrounded with it, I run the communities, right? I see all you guys. But at the same time, bro, when I just go to speak to people like IRL, like outside, like on campus and stuff like that, it's like, bruh, nobody cares. I don't understand the whole thing on Twitter of everyone saying, oh, we got the movie trending, blah, blah, a bunch of people finding it. Like, bro, you can say you got it trending and it saved all you want. That's cap. That is straight cap, my guy. I don't understand what people... Maybe it's like, maybe I'm looking too deep on Twitter at this point, but it's like everyone's saying they saved it. Like, what? Like, it's been almost a month and it just released in UK, and like my theater was empty, bruh. And like still the public opinion has not seemed to sway like IRL when you talk to like regular people. Like, fuck all the online shit, right? Maybe this is kind of pointless because like the video is going up online anyway, and it's just going to be circled within that circle. And it's like, bro, there is a difference between like online and reality. Reality is nobody gives like a flying shit about this movie. Online, everyone's making a massive fuss out of it. And realistically, it's specifically just the TF fans, which obviously makes sense because I care about it as well. I really liked the movie. This is by far better than any of the Bayverse stuff, at least for me. Like, maybe it depends on what you grew up with or whatever, but like, this is like really cool. Especially because I look at it from a trilogy perspective, right? I'm looking at like the Great War. I'm looking at the next movie. that's going to be the best movie IMO. But it's like, if this is how TF1 turned out, and this is, bro, if this is how they treat TF1, oh my dude, like, I know, like, obviously I have cover reactivate here, but it's like, if this is how they like are treating TF1, well, I guess maybe it makes sense how they're treating reactivate at this point. Maybe this is like just like full blown out in the open now. It's like why they don't give a shit about reactivate, or seem to not give a flying crap about reactivate or marketing or any communication, because they didn't seem to give a shit about TF1. Clearly, I mean, what, 70 mil budget versus like Rise of the Beast 200 mil. So yeah, you can say graphics all you want, the difference in cost, but it's like Rise of the Beast. Like, I don't want to throw in too much negative hate, but I mean, that movie was just like, by comparison to TF1, utter like basically shit. I'm just gonna say it. I like, compared to TF1 is so much better of a story, plot, and everything else than like Rise of the Beast. Rise of the Beast doesn't even make sense. It basically was just like an absolute gaslit of a film for Unicron, in which did absolutely nothing. I know, like, I the fan theories were literally better than that movie. The like Nemesis Prime as like Scourge, that would have been way more interesting. I'm not going to touch on that, but it's like, bro, what are they doing, man? I don't understand. I really don't. Like, maybe you guys can like give me some insights, but it's like, is it animated it failed? Is it the fact that it had no budget that it failed? Is it the fact that it's like not Bayverse, and like the more like wider movie crowd, like the normie crowd, just care about like that Bayverse style graphics because it's big budget or whatever? Is it a combination of all of it? Maybe is it the fact that like I've gaslit myself, and it's like TF really isn't that wide reaching, it's kind of just a niche thing. But it's like, I don't know, I feel like ever since Bayverse, like it has reached mainstream. Because am I wrong? But it's like Bayverse did hit mainstream for TF. Like, you saw people rolling around with like Decepticon and Autobot insignia on their cars. I still see it to this day, but it's like, I know because I've gone up to those people, and it's like they don't understand anything about like the inner lore. They just know like Bayverse cool. You know what I mean? Like, on one hand, Bayverse did the fan base really good, but at the same time, has it now just stigmatized everything to just like, they don't want to see like the cartoon stuff or whatever, like the animated? Is always animated just got a really bad stigma? I don't know at this point. I really don't, because I didn't think it was bad. I don't mind it. But again, maybe it's because I gaslit myself, because like I'm a 1986 movie fan. I liked the animated stuff. I grew up watching that stuff. So it's like, and that 1986 movie, as much as people want to say like blah blah whatever, like the movie is really good. It's really dark. Like, it's by far like the best film ever made for like the series. And it's like, maybe that's why I look at TF1, I'm like, oh, okay, another animated movie, and it's good. But it's like, maybe the wider audience really don't get it. Like, they just don't. I really don't know. I'm like actually lost for fucking words. Like, I don't understand. Like, is it just the TF fans that are screeching about this, but it's like there's not that many of us, and we're just gaslighting ourselves into thinking like this will go mainstream? Like, I don't understand all the cope and like, oh, the film saved because it went trending on Twitter. Like, that is not the reality, guys. I don't know what to say. I know that's not a popular opinion, but it's not saved by it going. Like, Twitter literally lives in its own sphere. I don't know how to explain this. Like, literally, like I could say a bunch of random crap on Twitter, go trending on Twitter, and it would have no translation over to even like a YouTube platform. So like, even with the online spheres outside of like X, Twitter, whatever, I don't like, bro. I don't understand. Like, the IRL sentiment is that this movie either doesn't exist or is just a kid's film and is not that deep. Yet, like, if you ask any TF fan, it's like the movie is probably like the best movie we've got, bar like maybe the 86 movie. Though the comparison is like off basically, because it's like, this explains the lore which we've never had explained in like a movie setting, or like we've had like this kind of origin story told within like the beginning of Prime and a few other like stuff, but it's like this is literally everything TF fans have been wanting out of a movie. Like, all Transformers, like Cybertron, origin story, and then again like the second movie in this trilogy, if it is the Great War, would literally be everything everyone has been asking for, like that Great War, Megatron, like Decepticons, Optimus, Autobots fighting. Like, it could literally be the War for Cybertron game, but made into a movie. It would literally be the perfection of what everyone's been asking for. Me, I don't know if that's just me. Maybe that's just me like projecting, but it's like that would be perfect. But it's like, it looks like it's just gonna be fumbled now. It's just gonna be fumbled, and it's like people would rather go watch Rise of the Beast. Like, really, just because it's like semi-connect. Is this why Lorenzo seems to push everything connected to Bayverse? Is that the reason why? Because he knows that everyone just wants to see Bayverse. They just know Bayverse. I don't understand. Like, is that the reason why? Maybe this is just a movies thing at this point. I don't know. Like, a movie's just so like disjointed from like all other media. Again, like, that's why I said maybe maybe we're in too deep at this point. Like, I look at it from the games, like the toys, the shows, and stuff like that. And it's maybe like I'm looking at it too connected. Like, if you just look at it from a movie's perspective, because again, it's like people were literally like hyping up like Joker 2 has just performed like shit, and people went to go watch that and were hyping it up. And it's like you look at TF1, I'm like, bro, I don't know. I don't know at this point. It really doesn't make any sense. The film is so good. There's a couple of points, but it's like on the whole, it's really good. It's better than anything like Bayverse from like a lore perspective and an Easter eggs perspective, and like just the general like story. Like the only nitpicks you can have with it are like there wasn't too much explored in terms of like Megatron, or like the High Guard weren't utilized to their fullest, with like how Starscream was basically just that's a nitpick of mine. I don't like how they did Starscream. I like it, but I don't understand why that wasn't fleshed out. Again, just comes back to budget. It's like the fact that like D16, we never got to see him fight in the pits, but it's like apparently that was meant to be there. So for all I know, Starscream could have got some better fleshing out, because for me he turned way too quickly. That might just be a nitpick, because I really wanted to see Starscream like developed. And I thought the Higher Guard were like extremely cool, but it's like, again, maybe that's because like I like the lore and I like those characters and like from other media. So again, that's kind of my own perspective, but it's like, bro, I don't understand, man. I really don't understand. Like, why was this not marketed like better? Why, like, I just compare it to like, I don't know, like Rise of the Beast. Maybe it wasn't that bad, but like I look at it now in hindsight, and honestly, it just makes me mad. Like just seeing like the 200 mil tag on it and then the 70 mil TF1 got, and it's like, bro, I don't like Rise of the Beast nigh as much as I like TF1. TF1 I like 10 times over at the very least over Rise of the Beasts. I like TF1 over any of the Bayverse stuff, if I'm being honest. I like Bayverse for what it is, but like as an actual like TF fan, there's just so much more in like TF1. I don't know, maybe it's because like I'm a G1 stuff and fan stuff like that. Like, I don't know, again, this could just be an error, this could just be a me thing, like a generational thing, but I don't know, it's like, I don't know. I know at this point, like, it just seems cooked, like, what they've done to this movie. And, like, if this is how they're going to treat the movie, maybe I'm just being pessimistic, but I just look at this, I'm like, what are they going to do with Reactivate? Does this make sense? Like, I know most people just came, like, maybe they're just here for my take on, like, the movie or whatever, but it's like, bro, if this is what they're doing to this type of media, which is for fans, like, this movie is, there's no shadow of a doubt, made for, like, actual TF fans. What on the actual earth are they going to do with Reactivate? Maybe this just makes so much sense why Reactivate has just had like absolutely seemingly be fumbled into like the non-existent realm of existence. Like there's just nothing, like the game has just been a mega fumbled. Is this why? Like, are we witnessing the fumble of TF1 and that's like, we're just going to apply that to Reactivate at this point? Because if they don't give a shit about marketing this film, which is actually made for fans, like this is a fan form made film, and Reactivate is meant to be made by fans for fans, it's like, oh, okay, if that's how they're going to treat this type of stuff, Reactivate may as well be cooked. May as well just be cooked on launch. May as well not even happen at this point. If this is how badly it's going to get fumbled, right? At least a movie will have it on digital stores and we'll always be able to get it. If Reactivate outright fumbles like equivalent to this, it's just going to get removed, right? Straight up. We won't even get to play it because it's a live service. We're not going to get to play it. It is by far a worse situation for me to think about than TF1, because at least TF1 you'll always be able to see it. It's not like it's just going to get pulled. It's a movie. You'll be able to stream it, download it, whatever. Reactivate will be actually cooked. It will literally be unplayable, right? Like it's in fact, it's even worse than like the Cybertron game situation, because at the very least the Cybertron games, you could get them, bar how you get them, you know, say all the 7 Cs or whatever, you can at least play the campaign. In Reactivate, a live service, you're going to be cooked. Like, unless like private servers get set up or something, like you're just cooked because it won't work, right? It's a co-op based looter shooter live service. So like, it's just going to be even more cooked. And it's like, I don't know. Maybe games will be treated differently. Maybe they'll treat the game different than the movie. Maybe movies live in their own little world and I just don't understand it. But it's like, I just look at this and I'm like, it's still Paramount, it's still Hasbro, right? They were willing to market and stuff like that for Rise of the Beasts. They were willing to do that for Bayverse. Why not this? Why? I don't understand it. Like, Sure, like, what is it? Because they just don't want to do the rest of the trilogy? Like, they see how fans react. They see that what people have been asking for. People want a game like Reactivate. People want a movie like TF1. And then when they actually do it, they just seem to fumble both of the bags out of pure. Why, bro? Like, what is the reasoning for this? Like, did like the higher ups don't like this IP or whatever? I mean, they're using it to literally springboard off GI Joe, so I don't understand. They're clearly using it as a springboard IP. They know it's one of their larger IPs. Yeah, you just treat it like shit. I don't know, bro. I don't know. What is going on up there, bro? Someone needs to fire the marketing team or something. I mean, Galactic Trials, the newest Transformers game that launched 2 days of recording. It launched the same day as the EU or the UK release of TF1. It's got like 12 or 13 players online on launch. It didn't even have a launch trailer. It didn't have any marketing. I swear to God, the marketing for that game was even worse than the game that came before it, which was the Earthspa game. It's like, do they not care to market anything at this point? It's why I draw the comparison line to Reactivate. I'm just like, bro, you didn't market the movie. You didn't market like any of the recent games. Do you just not care at marketing at all? Is this like some weird like millennial level marketing strategy that someone has taken over and trying to do like word of mouth? Bro, it's not working. It's just not. Look at the numbers, man. The numbers are performing like shit. There is so much fan engagement trying to prop up the lack of your marketing efforts because you don't want to spend the money on something that is actually good. Yet you'll just want to shit out like all much of other crap. Like, is the company performing that badly, bro? I don't know. Maybe I need to go check stocks or like some shit or like whatever. Like what the bonuses like management are taking home at this point, because like they've got to be pocketing a hell of a lot of money if they're not spending it. It's just wild, bro. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm honestly just like speechless at this point. Why? Like, because I can almost guarantee the GI Joe collab movie that's in like 2026 or 2027. I guarantee that'll get marketing. You know what I mean? And I guarantee you that shit will be 10 times worse than TF1. Bro, call me a hater all you want. I don't care, bro. That shit is not gonna do nigh as well for like actual. Like, you're not gonna get as bro. Like. Bro, this like the G.I. Joe thing is gonna be so forced, bro. Don't even cap it. And it's like we may potentially be witnessing the death of anything we could have possibly hoped to get in relation to a trilogy of TF1. Like, if TF1 doesn't have like its trilogy like set in stone, or like, if we don't get the Great War being the second movie, it will be the biggest fumble bar Reactivate. I shit you not, bro. Nothing will be able to top the fumble of missing out on that type of a movie, or even the trilogy in general for TF1. It is like bar Reactivate, because I think Reactivate, if Reactivates get fumbled, that'll be the biggest fumble of all time. Honestly, I know, like, maybe I'm slightly biased on that. I don't care, but it's like that would be the biggest fumble. But TF1 is definitely by far one of the biggest fumbles we've seen to date. Like, this is just criminal, bro. It's foul, honestly. Like, what genius over there thought this was a good idea? But bar the fact that, like, for some reason, why did like Europe get like absolutely fucked, royally fucked in the release dates? Why was it almost a month off from NA? Discounting the fact that I'm a content creator and I manage like communities for like the tier fans, it's like I can understand maybe me not being able to avoid spoilers. That's why I had to watch the movie early. Right, I still support it release, right? I bought tickets and stuff like that, but still, it's like I had to watch it early, and I had to watch like a cam rip, because otherwise I was literally getting spoiled. Again, like, maybe it's because, okay, I'll discount my fact because obviously I have to see in mod and like a bunch of communities. It's natural that I'm going to see it, but at the same time, it's like I know a bunch of other people in my communities that I've had to mod out spoilers because it's like they're European. It's like, how do you expect tier fans? And remember, this movie is made for tier fans. Don't get it twisted. That it's very obvious it's made for tier fans. The amount of nods, lore, and everything else. You expect them to just like what? Stay off the internet for like a month almost? Are you shitting me? The entire movie has basically been spoiled at this point. Like, before the Europeans even ever got to touch it, bar a few countries. Why? That's ridiculous, especially when, as far as I'm aware, Rise of the Beast was globally launched at the same time for the most part. At least it was for me. There was no month difference like this time with TF1. Why? what changed? Like, what is it really because they wanted like, I don't understand. What was the reasoning behind that? Is it something to do with like a kid's holiday or something? As far as I'm aware, everything's back at school, back at colleges, back at uni. What? I don't understand. It makes no sense to me. Honestly, I mean, I'm just repeating myself going in circles at this point, but I can't think of a genuine reason why they would fuck this over so badly. It just infuriates me. And I just look at this and I just like, I don't want to be negative, but I just like, I'm looking at TFR and I'm like, oh, maybe this makes sense why TFR is just getting so like royally fucked at this point. Why we get no answers to nothing, why our trailer's gone, why there's no updates, why the game seemingly gets delayed into like the next century. It's like, why? And then it's like I look at TF1 and I'm like, oh, okay, this movie was made for fans. Oh, you know, like Reactivate. And it's like, oh, this got fumbled. Yeah, okay. They don't give a flying, they don't give a flying shit about what fans actually want or care about. Or at the very least, maybe it's not like the directors and stuff like that because they seem to care. Maybe it's just the marketing team and the bean counters over at Hasbro. They don't give a shit. They don't give a flying. They would rather pocket their big bonus money and go buy another mega yacht or something. This feels like the Destiny and Bungie situation where the CEO, what was it? He literally like bought 14 new supercars and then laid off like a half of the fucking workforce or something. I swear this is about to be it, bro. We're about to see like Hasbro execs just like buy another super yacht and then be like, oh, the TF1 trilogy cancelled, Art Reactivate cancelled. I'm like, bro. Why, dude? Why? It makes no sense. I mean, yeah, fuck it. I'm just rambling at this point. That's me, guys. Peace.